What is going on, guys? It's Paved Gaming here, back with a brand new video. And today we'll be doing yet another Forza Horizon 4 wishlist, except this time, instead of having my ideas, I went on Reddit and made a post saying, what do you guys want to see in Forza Horizon 4? So all of these ideas will be people from the Horizon community, the Horizon 3 community, and what they want in Forza Horizon 3. So I have a short list of things that people from this Reddit wanted to see, and starting off with the first one by BZRK111. He says, I would like if you could bet on races like betting a car or credits, and also being able to restore barn finds. Finally, the credits being 100 equivalent to real life money. So I think what they're trying to say is that they wish they want the ability to bet on races, like betting a car or credit, so basically like pink slips and stuff, and being able to restore barn finds. So I mean, we can already do that, but that's what they wanted. The next thing that another person wanted is from ArtJDM, and they said they really want some Twisty paved mountain passes, which I definitely agree on. We haven't had like a good mountain drift area besides Horizon 3 Blizzard Mountain, so that would be really fun. And the thing with Blizzard Mountain wasn't even paved, it was just snow, so if we have like a Toge style mountain drifting road, that would be amazing. And he said, as fun as the dirt tracks are, the driving dynamic on them is completely different than on pavement. So yeah, so having a good a paved mountain road for drifting and races and stuff like that would be amazing. Let's see. Next is by Mikey Mo1741, and they have quite a list. So one of them says the first thing they want is the ability to bail out of a group during the voting round. So I don't know exactly what he's referring to, but I know in like Forza 7, for example, if you're in the lobby you can't get out. Or no, I know what they're saying. In Horizon 3 Online, whilst they're voting for like what class and everything, what they want to have next, you cannot quit the game, so you have to wait at least 5 minutes for the next game to load up and everything will load up, and then you can quit. So if you could quit in the menu, voting menu, that would be amazing. So that's definitely something I agree on. They said drive cars that are not on railroad tracks. I haven't experienced that, but okay. So they also said that they don't want you to be able to lose a skill chain when someone slams into you from behind and you have no chance to avoid them. I don't think that would happen, but that's definitely something that's really annoying during the game. And also they said when you join an online lobby, have more time to pick a car, so they don't randomly give you a car. That's a good thing too. If you have like a huge car list like I do, I have like 600 cars in Horizon 3, and you having to choose through like 100 from each class, that's really hard, and especially because the cars aren't like set in a particular order besides class. And if you have a lot of cars like built up to S1 800, I believe it is, or something like that, it's really hard to like find what you want. So that's definitely good. The next thing they want is the ability to paint wheels individually, which I agree on. Like drift car, obviously people that are huge in the drifting community, they really want that. So me too, I'd like the ability to like paint individually wheels different. They also asked for a better camera in the Vinyl Studio because you can't see all the car or the piece you're working on sometimes, and that's something that really annoyed me. For example, like for Horizon 2 or something, if you had like a BRZ or a Sign FRS, whatever it was, you couldn't actually see the car because there's some glitch that it was zoomed in on one part of the car, and that was really annoying when you wanted to have a design, to make a design. So he also wanted Volkswagens, which I totally agree on. I'm also a huge Volkswagen fan. They said drive cars in the solo campaign should not have DLC cars that you don't have. I don't really mind that, but I guess if you don't have a DLC pack, you don't want to be like driving with other cars that you don't have, so that makes sense. And finally, they also said to remove the XP boards from online play, which I can understand is annoying when you just have boards laying around, but it also helps if you're trying to find boards, other people can lead you to them. So I don't know about that one. But the next person is Celestic Snow, and they say that they want more mountains and because they miss elevation. So that's what someone else was saying earlier, that they wanted like a proper toge road, which I agree on. The only decent one we had was in Forza Horizon 1, which was the Red Canyon. I forget exactly what it's called. It's like the Red Canyon like off in the side of the map that had like some proper corners and some elevation change, but yeah. Okay, this one, so the next person is some trumpet player, and before I read this, this is everything I want. This is a huge issue for me, especially if you have a wheel and you drive interior view. This really makes me mad, but they want to see an option to change an automatic car to a manual. Like, so he's saying like if you have a transmission upgrade in the garage, you could change the 7-speed manual in the Corvette Z06 to the automatic and vice versa. So like if usually the cars, like for example the M4, you could have gotten it in the stick shift in the beginning day, like the earlier production years, and same with many other BMWs, you could get them in a stick shift. Like for example even the E46 M3 is a automatic. So if you have like a wheel like me and you like driving interior view once in a while, it just makes me really angry when a car has paddle shifts instead of a stick shift transmission, which sort of ruins the fun simulation. So the next person, whose name is Starfire 013, they have quite a long list. It's 11 things. But the first thing they want is the ability to change gear ratios without having to purchase an upgraded transmission. That makes sense. That would be really fun too, or really nice too. His reason is because on some stock cars, the stock engine sounds are really good, and when you change the transmission to change the gear ratios, you lose the engine sound, which I haven't experienced, but if that happens, it can be really annoying. Like if you have some really old school V8 American muscle car, I can see why you wouldn't want to lose like the rumble and stuff like that. But also like if you're on a budget, like if you have a tight budget on building a car, a transmission upgrade is pretty expensive, and just so you can change gear ratios, it's usually not worth it. So that I can see that. Number 2, I also agree with. They are asking for better looking, like rear spoilers that look better, because they say that the rear spoiler can be added to any car that looks pretty out of place. So basically, like the Forza Aero, the front splitter is exactly the same on every car, and the rear wing, they have 2 rear wings, one for like hatchbacks and SUVs and stuff, and one for like sedans and stuff. So you have 2 wings that they use on every car, and I agree with them. If they change the design to make it look better, it wouldn't be that bad. But right now, a lot of people are avoiding them because they look very bad and riced out and stuff like that. Number 3, I also agree with, is the ability to turn off traffic in single player, or even increase traffic for an additional challenge when making races. I agree with this, and even if you could do it in free roam, it would be better. One thing I love to do in Horizon 3 was at some period during the Horizon 3 day, the highway would be super busy, and especially if you have a wheel, it's super fun to like weave through cars and like in and out traffic on the highway. And if you could be able to turn up and down traffic whenever you want to, it would be amazing. This is probably not going to happen because we've been asking for it in every Horizon game and it hasn't come. But still, it would be really nice if we could. Next thing is to fix the AI drivers. This is actually, so he's saying that the AI drivers aren't exactly perfect because once in a while he sees like an AI driver flipping off the road or falls off a cliff because he's taking a corner too fast. So I guess he wants that fixed. It's funny, but it would be cool to fix it. The next thing is an auction house thing, which is really annoying for me too, because I'm not a legendary painter in the game. But he's saying that car flipping on the auction house is really hard because you can only sell, like, the highest price you can sell a car for is decided on if you're, like, your status on painting. So for example, when the barn find for the AMC Pacer came out, I had one, and in the auction house some Pacers were selling for like $10 million by legendary painters, but because I wasn't like a legendary painter, I could only sell it for 100 grand. So I don't think it's fair that, and this person doesn't think it's fair that you can only sell a car for a certain price based on how popular you are in the paint house, and I agree on that. Number 6 on this guy's list is more weather conditions, so high winds, puddling on the roads during and after heavy rains, sort of what you can see in Forza Motorsport 7. So if we had like a mix of Horizon 3 physics and Forza 7 physics for like weather and stuff, Horizon 4 would be a great game. Other things. So for number 9 on his list, he said that he would like 4 seasons. So like, for example, autumn in Japan would look amazing, and winter would be really cool. For example, like Blizzard Mountain, if they implied that in the Japan map. So he's asking for 4 seasons, but if that works, I don't know if it would be like how GTA does it, or just like a separate part of the map that's all of a sudden turns into a season. But the way GTA does it is really cool, and it brings back players. So if you don't know, like around Christmas time, like between Christmas and New Year's or something, during the GTA Online, there's actually snow. So that would be cool if they did that in like Horizon. So during the winter you have snow and stuff like that. But people who like really want to play in the snow and stuff, that would sort of decrease the playing time. But at the same time, like, it would bring back players. If they want to play in the snow, the game would be played more. So I don't know how that would work, but the only thing in GTA was that it was only for a week. A week of the year was snowy, which was a little bit too little in my opinion. So if Horizon 4 keeps it like for a few months, it would make sense. Number 10, they wanted more right-hand drive cars because in Japan, but that makes sense because it really makes me angry when it's like in Europe or the US, like Horizon 1 and 2, when you have right-hand drive cars. So when you drive interior view, it's really messed up. And same in Horizon 3, when you drive on the left side of the road and you have right-hand drive left-handed drive cars, and it's on the wrong side. So if the steering wheels are on. Sorry, I'm like messed up. Anyways, so if the car steering wheels are on the appropriate side of the road for that environment, that would really be nice. He also asked for the option for tuners to show the settings in their tune if they want to during car shows. That can help if you want to like help others and stuff like that for tuning. But yeah. Somebody asked for it to come on PS4. That's not gonna happen, I'm sorry, but because Microsoft is Forza is a game developed by Microsoft and its studios, is probably not, like 99% sure it's not gonna come for PS4, just like any PS4 exclusive game won't come to Xbox One. So that's not gonna happen. The next person, whose name is Ultima Nilo, sorry I messed that up, Nilo, something like that, that's for customization being more free. So they're saying being able to edit other people's liveries on their car, which is amazing, and they also added but not being able to share them. That would be exactly what I've been asking for a long time. So basically, if you have a design on the storefront that you really like, you can download it and then add some things to it that you would want on that designed, but you won't be able to share it. So if you could be able to do that, that would really be nice. He also said that he would like more body mods like in Need for Speed. Me too, that would be amazing. He said that, what else did he say? Yeah, he also said that it'd be nice if you could do what GTA does, so you can make your own routes for races and stuff. So basically, Horizon 3 Blueprint let us choose like what kind of cars we can use for races and stuff like that. But for Horizon 4, we could take it up another level and design and create our own races like we can in GTA 5. That would be amazing. So, next one by Bruno Goncalves. He says the possibility of opening and closing your roof on convertibles. Me too. Everybody wants that. If you have like a 458 convertible or a Miata or anything that you can drop the roof in, if you're able to put the roof down and up, open windows, stuff like that, it would be amazing and make the game a lot more realistic. Next he says more Japanese cars, more hybrids and electric cars, which I agree with. So like, I made like Horizon 4 car wishlist videos, so if you haven't seen those already, I'll put like links in the bottom so you can check those out. Although I haven't made a Japanese car video yet, I will in the future. But he also said more hybrid and electric cars, which I would love to see. Like in Forza 4, we had the Toyota Prius, and that was the only game that we had it in. And that car was like so popular because, you know, everybody says, oh, it's a bad car, but if you can put mods and power in it, it's just really fun. And with the addition of the Honda Odyssey and Forza 7, having a minivan in Forza, rear-wheel drive swapping it, put a Hellcat engine in it, and make a crazy drift car out of it, that's something else that would be amazing. They said the possibility of buying or selling a car directly to another person. This also is helpful. For example, in Horizon 1 or Forza 4, I think both of them, I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. You are able to send people cars. So if you had a car that you wanted to give to a friend, you're able to give it to them for free. So you said you would select a car and there was an option to say give this car as a present to somebody, and you choose your gamer tag. So if you're able to do this or just sell it directly to another friend, because if you want to give a car to a friend, they either have to buy it on their own, like download a tune, download a paint job and all that hassle, or you have to put it up in the auction house and you have to buy it right away without anyone else getting it. So it's really annoying and stuff like that. That would be helpful. The last thing he wanted was higher penalties for people who don't drive clean in online races. So this is really annoying. If you're like if you want to try hard in like online races and stuff, we all know in every lobby there are good racers and there are bad racers. The good racers try their best to come in first, they race clean, like in real life, and then there's those 8-year-olds who don't know what to do alone and just annoy people by driving their crazy car into other people's and screwing them up just so they can have like a laugh. So like having more penalties for people like those would be amazing. The next person that wants more stuff is TXFDA. So they're asking for more elevation in the map, a mountain or two, and some NFS Carbon style canyons. This guy is an OG. I played NFS Carbon. It was the first game I had on my old computer, the first car racing game that I like actually played out. I did the career over like 4 times. That game, thank you for playing that game and knowing stuff about it, because that was one of the best Need for Speeds ever. So having like a canyon style road from Need for Speed Carbon would be amazing. Another thing they asked for was the visual customizations not affecting performance. So they're saying like they hate how if you want to change the hood, you have to deal with it changing how the car works. That makes sense. Like some hoods are lighter than others. It sort of adds realism to it. But at the same time, to me, it's annoying that when you add a Rocket Bunny kit, it brings down your car by 20 PI sometimes. So it can be annoying sometimes, but at the same time it's sort of realistic. They also say that when you download a tune for a car, it comes with the body mods that person has on it. That's also annoying too, like if it's a great tune, great cars and everything, you can't change the rims, you can't change the bumpers or anything like that, so that can be really annoying. They also said that they'd like to be able to paint on windows, so adding stickers on windows and stuff like that would be really nice. They also want more body options. So this is another thing that I had an issue with, was body mods and stuff like that. We're all happy that we got wide body kits in Forza Horizon 3, you know, everyone was so hyped. But, for example, on the BRZ, there are many Rocket Bunny kits, like the V1, 2, 3, 3.5, all those. But there's only one in the game, like, I know, like, I mean, I'm happy that we got them, but having one wide body kit for each car sort of gets repetitive when you look in your garage and every single car has the same body kit and stuff. Thankfully, like the BRZ and stuff, those have many other non-wide body bumpers and stuff, but having like one wide body kit is sort of annoying and repetitive once in a while. They were saying turn on and off traffic, so that makes sense. So they also were asking Horizon 4 doesn't prevent you from deleting cars from your garage because because it considers it important. So they're saying like they have 2 of the same barn find cars and they can't sell it, so they just want to delete it. They also said in the auction house they want to have the minimum sell price removed, so they could sell their car for like $1,000 if they want to. Or like they also said it's hard to sell cars, like for example the Holden pickup truck. Barn finds in general, they're easy to find, so nobody really buys them and stuff. So they're saying if they're able to sell like a barn find for 500 credits, more people would probably buy them and they could get them off their hands like that. So that would be helpful, and I agree with that. I can see where he's coming from. Another thing he asked for, which is helpful, is if you could organize your cars however you want. So they're saying like if you could put all your Horizon Edition cars together, and your normal cars, and like you can sort them when you go in the garage, but they just like go back to normal all the time. So like you can sort them by class or year or anything, but when you back out of the garage and go back in, it sorts it by automaker once again and year and stuff like that. So he also said like if you could filter duplicate cars, so you can see what cars you have more of one of, and also this one is actually pretty helpful. So he says that when you're in the auction house, if you're looking at cars, the car in the auction house says if you own that model and make in the car in your garage already, so you don't buy through so you don't buy cars that you already own that you don't want to buy. So next one is by GAGFAN03. They said they'd love to see more convertibles that you could make the top go up and down. So another repeat, and they also said turn signals. Now this is sort of like a controversial thing because they say, oh, Horizon 4's racing game, you don't need it, blah blah blah. But I want turn signals too. The only thing is, if you're playing on a controller, you don't have a lot of buttons to activate turn signals and stuff. But if you have a wheel, for example, with a shifter, so like I have a Logitech G920, for example, you could use a shifter to use the gears, and then use the paddle shift to use the corresponding turn signal. So you could use like the right paddle shift for right turn signal and left for left turn signal. So that could be like a button mapping or something. But people say, oh, you don't need this racing game. But people like me that do like street build videos and stuff like that, they want to just cruise their cars around, sort of obey traffic laws at the same time. And I don't know, it would be really fun for me if you could do that. So I agree with that. And the last person, Harry Disambulgation, they said that they want more Japanese music if it goes into Japan. and no more alerts asking you every time if you want to go find a barn find that you don't give two beeps about. I agree with this, and also Anna, the GPS, even when you turn her off and mute her voice, it still says you have like a blueprint thing, or like a barn find you buy in the middle of the game out of nowhere. And when you're making like a street build video and you want to make it like really clean and nice and just a pure sound video like I do, if you want to check those out too, self-promotion, haha. But anyways, going back to the topic, so if you have like, if you're trying to make a video or something, and then it's like you have a bucket list challenge, do you want to hear to buy, do you want me to set a route to you, and it just keeps on popping up like every 5 to 10 minutes. They're really, really annoying. They also said underglow for cars, possibly bridges to different islands, and an easier auction house center. So that makes sense. So they're basically asking for better music and more secluded areas blocked off from AIs. Another thing that's sort of related to this that I haven't read, but it's really important, is better playground areas. Horizon 2, the docks were amazing, so something like that would be great. The construction site was good, but I don't know, it didn't have like such a great vibe, and it wasn't really high speed. The log area, that was just bad because you just hit like a log and it'd slow you from 100 to 2 miles an hour instantly. So I didn't like that one that much, and the water area was sort of annoying because, you know, driving through water the whole time is really slow and stuff like that, especially if it's a lower class car. But basically that's it for now, guys. If you haven't already, drop a like and subscribe for more Forza Horizon videos in the future, such as car wish lists and stuff like that. If you stuck to the end of this video, please say so in the comments down below. I really appreciate this. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good day. Goodbye.